Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Joining us now is Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Olisa Agbakoba, one of the conveners of the Nigerian Intervention Movement, otherwise known as the Third Force. Welcome to the morning show.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I start by saying Happy El Maulud.
Yes.
Yes.
To all of us and our northern
Same to you,
brothers.
yes.
Good to have you.
Thank you very much.
Now, where are we?
Yeah.
We're part of that process of getting a third force.
Yes.
Outside the PDP, outside the APC.
Absolutely.
Then later there was the coalition of united political
CUPP,
parties.
CUPP.
But it looks like that third force now has merged with the PDP.
We haven't.
Really?
There are 4 trends. The first trend is the PDP. The second trend is the APC. The third trend is Obias Ekwesili, Kingsley Moalu, and Showore. I've tried to persuade them as chair of the third force political parties to join, but they say they're going on their own. So all other parties, 35, are within the third force political party, and we are all part of the CUPP. And so by January, we'll pick a presidential candidate.
So there was a guy on this program
Yeah.
who said that the CUPP has more or less taken a decision to merge with the PDP. Is that true?
No, it's not true. The CUPP is the umbrella of the PDP and all other political parties.
Yeah, but what is, again, for the benefit of our viewers, what is the agenda of the CUPP? I know you've talked about restructuring.
That's
you've
one.
talked
That's
about a new economic order.
Three things.
Yes, okay.
Political governance, economic governance, administrative governance. Political governance, we have 4 items. First is constitutional restructuring, which will take a while. So we want administrative restructuring. We want by May 29 for the states to begin to exercise federal power administratively. Very possible. So for instance, from Onitsha to Enugu, that's a federal road. The federal government can pass that responsibility to the states. Then national order. It's missing in both documents of the PDP and in the APC. Without a national order, there's no peace. The most important international order that created peace in Europe is the Treaty of Westphalia. You need national order. Without national order, all these fancy documents will go nowhere. So that must be established. So the National Conference plays a role in all of that. Then we need to see how we can get Nigeria working again. I like Atiku's punchline on that. Working again. You need to create jobs. So you need 3 things. First, you need macroeconomic stability. You need to have a good trade policy. What Trump is doing, by his foolishness, is what every African country should be doing. Nigeria has become a dumping ground, and it pains me no end. If we get there, or when we get there, we're going to close our borders. We're going to erect high trade tariffs. Nigeria spends $46 billion on British Airways, Ethiopia, and the like, and we have no airline. So we're going to put in place a Fly Nigeria Act. Every government naira generated by government for the use of government officials or related businesses must originate and end on a Nigerian aircraft. That will create jobs in the aviation industry. In the maritime sector, I'm so shocked that everyone focuses on a crude of oil, just a barrel of crude. There are 36 value chains in crude. We allow foreigners to exploit them. That will stop. So the point is, there will be trade policy. So when Atiku says he wants to create 3 million jobs,
Yes,
that's how we create them. We create it by closing our borders. If you don't like it, don't come here. The businesses will be done here. We're going to emphasize import substitution.
Well, I have issues with insularity as state policy.
They're doing it in America.
Protectionism.
They're doing it in
as
America.
state policy.
No, the problem is stop.
But it doesn't make it right.
No. They're doing. Why is the UK leaving Europe? Why?
Yeah, but it's not working. Theresa May is having issues.
Well, but
our government is facing danger.
The issue is, why is she doing it? Why? There has to be a reason. Why is America erecting borders? Why?
Yeah, but can Nigeria strategically, in terms of its foreign policy objectives,
yes, what is our foreign
afford to insulate itself, say, for example, from West Africa?
My foreign policy objective is to put people back to work. That is my objective.
No, that's foreign. That's not foreign policy. That's domestic policy.
No. A foreign policy objective is, first of all, to strengthen your base. Then you can talk. Why do you think Kim in North Korea is so powerful? Because his domestic policy objective is to have nuclear armaments.
Yeah, but some of these ideas, I mean, for example, I've seen you talk about Roosevelt,
yes,
as a role model.
Yes.
I've seen you talk about Milton Friedman's economic model as impossible.
Yes.
And you say the Keynesian model.
The Keynesian model should work here.
It should work here.
Yes.
But there are people who say, no, they don't want the Keynesian model. Another model will work better. Maybe Milton Friedman is better. Okay, but all these ideas,
yes.
Are you already negotiating with the political parties, with some of the candidates that you have mentioned?
I just said now that the third force is a neutral, non-partisan political process. As I speak to you, we have 6 million registered members of the first movement. I don't know what the other parties have, but on current form, Atiku is leading, Buhari is a distant second, and we're third. Ours is not to do policy documents. Ours is to control the base. We're going to the wards. We now have 6,742 canvassers. We're going to work on the swing states. We're going to work on the safe states. And we're going to work on the battlegrounds. The election is not about studio. It's going to the ground. If we lose, we will lose not for want of trying. We are going to go out to get Nigerians. And Nigerians are angry. So it's not a difficult
Well, the two candidates have their policy documents out there in the public domain.
Yes.
Now. What's your assessment in terms of what they are promising?
The one that was written by the AP is called The Next Level. In a hotel, when you're on ground zero, say go next level, I'll ask you, is it up or down? That document is taking us to the basement.
It is?
A complete disaster.
Okay.
It is a complete disaster.
In specific terms?
It's just in the document. It's a handout. Take. It is not a political document. It has no conceptual overhang, so I dismiss it. The one for Atiku, 80%. It's got the right stuff. It needs more work, but it's a working document. It's something I can live with. I see nice things there.
What is special? He's talking about 5,000 kilometers of roads.
Yes.
He's talking about...
No. Before you get to...
The details.
The mistake people make is that's not how to analyze an economy. Those are specifics. The first thing to do is to look at the overhang.
No, I'm trying to unbundle the document.
No, you first of all have to look at the overhang.
Okay.
What's
the framework?
The framework. There's a conceptual framework that creates macroeconomic stability. One, it creates quantitative easing. Nigerians are under pressure. You can't pay 22% and expect your country to work. So it's easing back. It's cutting interest rates, exchange rates, lending rates. It's all there.
And it's reducing corporate tax.
That I'm not sure about. But let's leave that. I'm not sure about corporate tax. But it's got all the nice, indices in it. So when you now put all together, jobs are created. Jobs are created.
But the one that Buhari also has creation of jobs as well.
But there is no overhang. How? Is it going to do Keynesian? There are two kinds of things. Is it going to do expansionary? What we need now is 100 trillion naira put on the table to pump the system, to make it grow. Well, budgets have been doing 7 trillion. That's too small. He doesn't tell us how much he's going to spend. He doesn't tell us whether he's going to contract the economy or expand it. The one of Atiku is very clear. It's going to push money.
Well, from what you have said so far, I get the impression that you have a bias for Atiku.
Absolutely. Over
Buhari.
Over Buhari.
So are we likely to see the CUPP, the NIM, and your political party in January endorsing Atiku?
If
we already have an idea.
If he wins the selection framework, There's a selection framework. They're all going to line up, Atiku and the other presidential candidates, bar the three I mentioned, and we'll pick. So whoever wins will be the candidate. Yeah, so there's going to be 2 candidates only. Atiku, if he wins, or whoever, and Buhari.
We had Femi Adesina a few minutes before you came on this program.
Right on.
And he was saying, look, forget about the PDP. He didn't even want to talk about the PDP.
Yes.
He says the PDP flag is flying at half-mast.
To Femi, I say, forget about the APC. The talk on the streets, he's living in Abuja. We're on the streets, forget I'm wearing suits. I'm always on the road. The talk on the streets is against the APC, period. Drivers, plumbers, carpenters, lawyers, doctors, engineers, everybody. I've not heard one single person say any good thing about the APC because I had a big chance. I had a big fight with my wife in 2015. You know why?
Why?
I know the man. I know Buhari, I know him. I've been the humorous woman for 40 years. I know him very well. I said, this one that killed people at the bar beach, jailed your brothers, passed decree number 4, mainly because they spoke the truth. My wife said, no, Jonathan must go. Don't worry, you will see.
We thank God that didn't lead to divorce.
Now she says,
it was just a
now she
discussion.
says, you are right. I said, I told you. I told you.
So as the electioneering has officially begun, we have this policy document from the 2 parties, although we see that you're a bit more optimistic about Atiku's own. Do you get a sense that for the first time we are seeing an issue-based electioneering season in Nigeria?
And that's been the work of the third force. I'm happy you asked that question. There is going to be more issues. Both parties realize that to capture the votes, to get votes, they need to talk about the issues to Nigerians. And the biggest issue is job creation.
Well, you once wrote that the financial services sector has lost the trust of Nigerians.
Yeah, you know why?
But we have had many of them here on this program. We have interviewed them. They say, look, the financial services sector is doing very well. So why do you say they've lost the trust of Nigerians?
What they are traders and money lenders. I have never...
Yeah, but how is that part of the political equation?
No, because the lifeblood of any economy is the FSS. They pump money. And if the FSS is not doing that because they want to trade on oil or shares or whatever, then they starve the system of money. We have about 40 million small businesses in Nigeria that can't access funds. And where does the money go? The money goes to the big guys, the Dangotes and all that. That's where the money goes. So I will break the CBN into 3. I'll allow CBN to concentrate on monetary policy. I will create a prudential regulatory authority for banking supervision. And I'll create a financial conduct authority for ethical conduct of the banks. The banks abuse us. Every time I transfer money, I see something, 50 kobo gone. The banks this year made 1.1 trillion. Can you beat that? At the time we're all dying. How can that be? When Roosevelt came in, the first thing he did was to pass the emergency banking legislation, followed by the Glass-Steagall Act. What stabilized America under Obama was the Frank Dodd Act. We've got to bring the banks back into line and lend, consumer lending. Then you can go into the bank, take money, repay. In the UK, where my daughter got a letter as a lawyer in Price Waterhouse, what followed was a loan, a 30-year mortgage loan, for a girl who had not even worked for 1 month. For 1 month. We have $7 trillion in housing index in Nigeria. Houses everywhere. But you can't take your house and get a loan because the titling is all bad. So we're going to link the housing index to the banks so we can access. So if you, Ruben, come to me and you need money and I can see a collateral I can identify, I will give you money. Those are the soft institutions that we need to build. I don't want to say anything about legal failure because that is an area we will decapitate. A friend came to me once. He had a client coming in, wanted to invest $7 million. And the friend said, I'd like to go to your courts. He took a look. I said, I'm not coming here. I'm going to Ghana. The courts will be decapitated. There will be a new way of resolving disputes in Nigeria. Not through the courts. There will be sector-specific dispute resolution mechanisms. So in telecom, you have quasi-judicial courts. In the capital market, which they have now, across the board. So people can invest. No FDI is coming here. All we have is hot money. Hot money comes into the capital market, they make money, they take it out. But if you want here to grow, then people can see that the soft institutions are working. Erisco, Nigeria's largest tomato puree maker, is sitting on 6 billion naira worth of unsold tomato puree. You know why? China. So if you're selling for 10 naira, for example, China sells for 2. I'm going to close that with trade tariffs. So our trade policy is going to be protectionist. When I was driving cabotage to push out foreigners from our coastal waters, American counselor came to me and said, why are you doing this? So I asked her, why do you have the Jones Act, which is cabotage? So let's just look at the Americans. Mr. Trump is a very clever man. He's talking to his base. He's going to win re-election. The guy who is going to win election here is the man who can put bread on the table.
Yeah, but you see, the CUPP, how seriously is it taken by these presidential candidates?
Very.
Initially, we heard that, okay, President Obasanjo was part of it,
but he is.
At a point,
he's part of it.
Yeah, at a point, it looks like he's now backing a specific political party.
No, he's part of it, ADC. ADC is part of it. The difficulty maybe you'll be having is all the political parties have agreed we are all doing our own campaign. But we know that to be strong, because our motto, our mantra, our swan song, anyone but Buhari. That's our swan song. And we can sacrifice anything for that. But meanwhile, we will continue to do everything we do as individual parties. By January, we must agree.
But what is Buhari's offense?
He's done badly. He's failed.
No, that's not what his handlers are saying. That's not what he is saying.
But you can't...
If you can just put a frame around it.
3 things. He had 3 big things. Anti-corruption. Failed. You just asked him the question about the vice president. Ganduje and all that going on. What's happened? It's so selective that it's unbelievable. So that has failed. Security. You asked a question about the Chibok girls. It's failed. Nothing's happening. Nothing's working. It's so obvious that no one needs to explain that Mr. Buhari has not succeeded.
So can you truly say that after 3 years he has done nothing positive for Nigeria?
I cannot say he can. I mean, come on.
So can you point out what you think?
Am I Buhari, man? What should
no,
I
I'd like to know, because we can't just keep...
You saw Femi on TV.
Right.
Ask Femi.
Let me
am I here to speak for Buhari?
Well,
I'm not to speak for
but
him.
can we truly say that this is a function
I want Nigerian voters to follow what I'm saying, and not Buhari people. So I'm not going to here talk about Buhari. Okay. Buhari has not done well.
Can we truly say that this is the function of just one man who is the president? When it comes to the fight against corruption, we have so many factors to come into this. We have the anti-graft agency. We have the judiciary.
Initiative is the leading characteristic in the definition of good government. Leadership drives good government.
How about the judiciary? People say a lot.
Harry Truman said, on the table of the president. A good president makes a change. America is having its lowest unemployment rate in 60 years as a result of the policy of just one man, Trump. I'm a fan of Trump, as you can see.
I can see that. I'm not just a fan of Trump. I'm a fan of the Americans. You have quoted Trump, you have quoted Roosevelt.
Less his madness. What the guy is doing, he understands how to grow an economy. Make America great again.
Okay, going into this election, what is your biggest fear?
That they will not go.
What would not go?
The Buhari administration.
Buhari people would not go. They are so desperate. That's
Why do you say that?
I see it.
Yeah, okay. Let's phrase it like this.
Yes.
Some Nigerians are saying President Buhari and his team, they seem determined to remain in office by any means possible.
That's it.
Including rigging.
Absolutely.
Now, do you imagine that we could face a legitimacy crisis?
Absolutely.
If they succeed? And how will the civil society deal with that?
We'll absolutely react.
How?
Absolutely. The usual things we do. The usual things, appealing to international community, protests, making Nigeria ungovernable, everything. We'll do that. But we don't want that to happen. I don't want that desperation I'm seeing to be there. President Buhari sounds very desperate. Or his people, I don't know which.
But isn't it two sides of the same coin?
Yes.
I mean, some figures in civil society say Buhari must go.
Yes.
Whether the people vote for him or not.
Yes.
And Buhari say whether the people vote for me or not, I will stay. So it looks like Nigeria is at a crossroads, at the edge of a precipice.
Absolutely.
On both sides.
On both sides. We have never had it so bad. We've never been so divided, which is why I will appeal to everyone to have calm and to respect the electoral umpire and the decisions.
Okay.
Whoever wins, fair and square, and whether it's Buhari, the third force guys, or Atiku, let us all respect it.
Okay, before we let you go,
Yes.
I would like you to talk briefly about restructuring, which is also one of the things you've been pushing.
Yes.
Under the platform of the various organizations.
You know, when I was listening to you,
Yes.
as I came in, I said, you've made a case. Not all the states can pay the same. But it's because of this nonsense federalism, this centralized, centrifugal federal structure where what happens here must happen everywhere. That's the problem. The states must be allowed to develop along their own lines. So restructuring simply means the 98 items of power in the Constitution divided into 68 on the exclusive list and 30 on the concurrent. Just shift it around. For goodness sake, what is driver's license doing on the exclusive list? Why is the federal government issuing driver's license? Why does the federal government have a prison service, whereas it has less than 10 prisoners? All these things need to go. Why is the federal government interested in registry of marriages and deaths? Those are matters for the local government. What is the federal government doing in primary education? So let us go for the low-hanging fruits. Let's pick those things that is so obviously a power that should preside in the state and transfer it. That's restructuring. That's all it means. But the fact that, and I must say this, the southern argument of restructure terrifies the north. And I've appealed to the southern part that to restructure seems to connote breaking Nigeria up. So I always restate that that is not the case. It is to redistribute power and make the states stronger.
Well, three quick legal issues.
Yes.
I mean, we can't have an SAN here
Fire on.
in the studio and we
Fire
won't talk
on.
law. Now, one, the issue about President Buhari's certificate
Yeah.
and the controversy around that.
Yes.
Two, the issue, you went to court to challenge President Buhari holding the position of the Minister of Petroleum.
Yes.
And the court ruled in your favor.
Yes.
Now, is the president going to respect that, or
No.
you are going to push for contempt
They won't respect that.
and charge him for contempt?
They won't respect that.
If possible. And then three, there was this other case you had with a bank. Was it First Bank?
First Bank, yes.
Yes, and
Yes.
then you are supposed to be paid some 260 million plus.
About 300 million.
Yes,
Yes.
close to 300 million.
Yes,
I see you are looking very fresh.
Yes.
Have you collected
I
money?
haven't collected nothing.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Oh, First Bank is disrespecting the court?
On appeal.
Oh, they went on appeal.
On appeal.
Okay,
On
but
appeal.
these are the three legal issues.
First question was what again?
Certificate.
Certificate.
Scandal.
Yes.
Section 133 of the Constitution deals with qualification of a person holding the office of president, and it says that you need not have a certificate. All you need to show is equivalent experience.
Equivalent.
So Buhari needn't have ever said that he had one, but he had said so. So,
So we're dealing with perjury?
that's if he doesn't have it.
Okay.
If he doesn't have it. But what he did in his return was to say, I have one, but it's with the military. Now, that offends Section 31 of the Electoral Act. And the case that is in court is an extremely serious case. Because in my view, the case should succeed. Because the thing makes very clear that in sending you your nomination form, you have to attach the certificate. It's not there. So the conclusion the judge will have to reach, for me, is quite obvious. But I'd like to see what will happen. So on current information, President Buhari is disqualified. On current information. As a result of his own return, not my return, his own return. And I think the matter can easily be resolved. Just produce it. You say you have it. Produce it. Why are you hiding it?
Yeah, but WAEC brought to him
certificate.
a certificate.
No, that's not.
Doesn't that settle the matter?
Not the rule says that you, Reuben Abati, running for the office of president, should do the following: attach your qualification, and you don't.
I don't have a problem with qualifications. More than enough certificates.
I'm not talking about you. I'm just using it. So the president did not attach it, and if he does have it, I think he should attach it so that the controversy will end. What was the final other question? The issue of the ruling concerning the president being president and minister for petroleum. The court, I had a negative victory actually, because the court held there wasn't enough clear evidence that the president was holding. And here the court interpreted holding under the Interpretation Act and said holding means to actually exercise it on a daily basis. But I can see Kachuku as the minister. If Kachuku was not minister, my decision would have been that the president cannot hold office. So, in summary, the ruling, in my view, is that the president cannot be president and minister at the same time.
Yeah. Okay. What's your take on this issue of the Electoral Amendment Act? I know that if that act doesn't get passed, if the bill doesn't get signed by President Buhari, the Electoral Act 2010 would subsist. But this has obviously some implications, because those who wanted the electoral process upgraded wanted certain things.
And the
card reader and all of that.
Yeah.
And so does this take us forward, or does it take
Or
us
what are
forward?
the implications of the delays?
The big implications, in fact, I'm surprised that everybody's there launching policy documents and everything, and then the key actor, INEC, is starved of funds. The electoral framework is not in place. I don't understand this sort of country. And the National Assembly isn't really showing the urgency, because all of the mistakes in the last election, or all of the challenges in the last election, were corrected by the new amendment. So I would have thought that they would have been eager to push it, but it's not moving. And if we go back to 2010, opportunity to rig over there.
Okay, so you are saying you have no confidence in INEC?
I won't be that strong. I won't be that strong, because INEC can only do what it's given. INEC cannot amend the law. INEC cannot give itself money. So I just hope that INEC gets all of the resources and the new law to enable it, because we want INEC not to have any excuse. I don't want that thing to happen, so that if I go to vote with my PVC, it doesn't work, then there's something manual. That's where the rigging starts. There's something manual.
Let me quickly ask you one legal question.
Yes.
Sometime this year, President Buhari attended the opening ceremony of the NBA conference.
Yes.
He made a statement. I would like your clarification on that. When he said that
Clarification?
national interest takes precedence over rule of law. What is your take
It doesn't
on
require
that?
clarification. The statement is in itself unbelievable, coming from the President of Nigeria, that national security supersedes the rule of law. There's no clarification.
Anyway, before we let you go, let me ask this question. It's personal, I guess. You are from the eastern part of the country.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Peter Obi was chosen as vice presidential candidate, running mate to Vice President Atiku Abubakar.
Yes.
What do you think of that choice? What do you think of that ticket? I know you've spoken about Atiku, and I see that you are pro-Atiku.
How can you say I'm pro-Atiku?
Well, you sounded like that.
We are working together.
Okay. But what do you think of that ticket and the choice of Peter?
It's a good ticket. Peter is very experienced. Okay. And Peter's point on cost of governance harkens to my heart. It harkens to my heart. The fact that we need to limit government. Maybe I should say to you that 5 million public servants consume 1.9 trillion naira as salaries. And federal public servants and the federal government only gets 1.2. So they're actually losing money. So all this issue about wage or no wage, it's a non-sequitur, it's a non-starter. The first thing to do is to say, do we need the bloat in government? We need lean, qualitative, efficient government. We need to reduce the workforce. It's going to be a very difficult conversation.
Reduce the workforce?
Absolutely.
Labour is saying, no, that's a threat that must not happen.
No, it's because we haven't found new things. We haven't found skills-based, things that they can go to do. But 5 million federal civil servants, there's no place for them. There's no place for the National Institute for Nomadic Studies sitting in Benin. There are no nomads in Benin. Yet they have a big office.
A lot of Benin people in Lagos.
Nomads in Benin. Nomads.
No, the nomads from Benin who relocated to other parts of Nigeria.
There are several things I can tell you. I know Steve Orosen very well. He did a very comprehensive report under President Jonathan, and he produced a list downsizing the federal government by up to about 40%. The report is sitting there. We need to cut the size. We need to cut the size of government.
So the report.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
to the morning show. This has been quite exciting.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to have you here.
Great, Robert. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Well, it's now time for another short break. But